We're in paradise. Surely some people here are enjoying themselves.
Hey guys, I'm back. Go-karting with monkeys got boring really fast.
It did?
Rampage games promise you one thing, letting you play as a giant monster and ripping civilization to threads. And as a lifelong horror fan, don't get me wrong, this sounds amazing. But the challenge is, like we watched in the clip of The Good Place, even the most fun thing you wish for, like racing go-karts against monkeys, does tend to get old after just, 15 minutes? So the question Rampage has is, how does this keep it fun? Not just for a full game, which is a challenge, but for a series of games that would go from all the way from actual arcade through the Wii.
Jason, your lifelong dream got old that quickly?
I mean, monkeys and go-karts was fun for a while. Then I was like, oh, you know what would be cool? Hippos and go-karts. And I was like, yo, what about Draculas with jetpacks? I did 50 combos, and then I just kind of wanted to hang out with you guys again.
Okay.
Well, that's the challenge our poor developers faced when making this game, which is the last game in the Rampage series. So if you've never been with us before, welcome back to Eat Your Side Quests, or welcome if it's your first time. This is the gaming channel where we eat and beat every game for the PS2. So we review the game, and then we cook a recipe and eat it based on the video game we played, or very loosely based on the video game we played. A lot of times it's not connected at all to the video game we've played, but either way, join us. We're going to start out and talk about the history of the Rampage series. Not too deep. There's actually some lovely 40-minute videos on the history of Rampage you should check out if you're interested. We're not going to go that deep. Then we're going to review the game, what I thought about it, what I wanted from it, and then we're going to cook the recipe. So stay tuned. Now, the gameplay of these games stay the same throughout its run. It involves you controlling a monster. You move left to right on a screen, destroying everything in your path, whether that's a suburb, a city, a farm. You go to space in a lot of these, actually, so space stations. And at one point, we went to Mars. Yeah, so the pre-gameplay loop was you go left to right, you smash every building by climbing on them, punching them, or just stomping on them till they fall. Whilst you try to destroy the city, everything from local police to military to spaceships will come and try to stop you. And so you can kill them as you move along. You can also, you take a lot of hits in this game, but the way you recharge your health is in every version, you have to pick up a person running by and you eat them. And that will give you your health back. Or you can eat the soldiers and such as well. It's simple in Rampage. And that's where the challenge comes in. How do you keep this fun? Because I'll be honest, every Rampage game, and I played a couple of them, and even the ones I really like, there is a moment, maybe 15 minutes in, where you start to get tired of it. You do, the carnage and the destruction kind of levels off your amount of fun with it, and you're kind of just mashing buttons and kind of going through the motions. So the way the game changes it up is often through, it's really good about changing locations. You're going through a lot of different cities or different areas. They change the backgrounds. You even go destroy Duluth, Minnesota at one point. So they fix some real deep cuts for cities you destroy. So it really does keep you going. The enemies switch up a lot too. There's a real escalation to the game from police officers to SWAT to military to then often spaceships and aliens and other monsters. So the game does keep it going, and they tend to be short. They know how to get out as well. These aren't 100-hour games or anything. They're a couple hours. And the other thing they do to keep it interesting is they allow for local co-op. So you and your friends or siblings get to destroy the city together, which is really fun. It's not really competitive. You're just engaging in mutual destruction. So that's how the game franchise has stayed alive, right? They kind of improve this every game, going from the arcade. The 64 games are phenomenal. If you're going to play one of these, play the 64 versions. But anyway, they really do keep it going. And then there's a real break from the late 90s to 2006. We don't get any Rampage games. And I haven't been able to officially confirm it, but it had to have been 9/11, right? They definitely had to be hey, is having a monster destroy New York City, is it too soon? However, 2006 or 2007 apparently was was no longer too soon, and that's when they released Rampage Total Destruction, which I think was probably supposed to be a return to franchise. They released this on every system that was available at the time, from GameCube to PlayStation. The Wii had a version of it as well. So they pushed this out there. This was a real comeback, I feel like. Let's talk about it. So this Rampage game decided the way to keep it interesting was to add like 30 characters, 30 playable monsters. This is unusual. The other Rampage games typically have a cast of 3, maybe 4 or 5. Not a big cast. This is a new addition. And like, listen, these monsters, they're good. They're scary. They're ugly. They're good Rampage monsters, right? They're well animated. They've made unique animations for all of them. They kind of all play the same, but they do feel different. Some of these characters like fly and flap your wings. So getting to play as the new characters was definitely a way that this game kept it interesting. The problem I had with this game is they do have a lot of characters, but they neglected every other aspect of Rampage that makes it fun. The locations all feel very much the same. We go to like England and Hong Kong and New York and Chicago, and there's some differences. Like, don't get me wrong, like they changed the sign names a little bit. Like when you're in Chicago, there's a lot of hot dog signs. So like, great, right? Like they did change it a little bit, but compared to the other games, man, we went to Mars in other games. This is great. Like there's only 7 cities. Like they didn't even make a lot of cities, which is crazy. Like other games have like 120 cities. This has 7. And another thing, so there's just some problems too. Like, so I have 30 plus monsters, but this is another issue. And I had to go back and play the other games. So maybe I was like, maybe this isn't true. Destroying things in this game is not as much fun as destroying things in other games. And that's a huge problem when the whole game is about destroying. The buildings, I think they did it to like extend the length of this game. Or, in 2006, these are some well-made buildings. They're really hard to knock down. You really have to hit them over and over and over again for them to fall down. It's actually very frustrating. My monster doesn't even feel that strong. Like he's taken 30 punches to knock this building down. It just isn't fun. Like I think, it was just like they were all like these tanky buildings. And every character, when you play them for the first time, so if you're playing with your character, you unlock a new one, you have to unlock each character's moves. So like if you unlock the moves on one character, it doesn't translate over to the next character, even though they all have the same moves. So not only did I have to like every time I wanted to play as a new character, I essentially felt like I was starting the game over in a harder level. And like it kind of discouraged me from wanting to try the new characters because I didn't want to have to level them up. Because to level them up, it like slows you down. It's like, to learn this move, eat 10 police officers or eat 10 children with ice cream cones, or even worse, it'd be like find these 3 items and you had to climb up the buildings and punch each window out to hope those items would come up. So it wasn't fun to unlock these moves. I just wanted to destroy things. This game is called Rampage Total Destruction. I just want to destroy things, and instead I'm going on these little little quests to eat the Pacific people. What am I doing? And like the bad guys don't change up much either. After a couple cities, you've seen all of the assets and all of the villains. It doesn't change a lot, which is crazy because I don't know, like changing locations and bad guys is Rampage. I never played a Rampage game as a kid and was like, boy, I wish I could have played as more monsters. And it doesn't, again, credit where credit's due, because the monsters were where they tried. There's some good ones. There's this gremlin who flaps his wings and like flies. There's actual Satan. He's terrifying. This crocodile really cracks me up, and this one's clearly evil Pumbaa. That's funny, right? Like I do like these characters. I I just think it was a bad move. I think you should have focused on more cities and more places, and I think it would have been fun. And another thing I'm just going to throw out here is this game, a lot of times the way Rampage dulls the blow of how horrific these games actually are, right? You're a kid just leveling cities. You're killing thousands with these actions. But it's very cartoony. It's very silly. And so it manages to kind of take that trauma of what's happening off the plate. This, though, the game, they made it more realistic. Like, they used more realistic graphics. And it just makes you feel a little dirty. There's not really a lot of, like, background music, so you hear a lot of, like, screams and yells. And I felt really, in addition to not having fun, I felt gross after playing this game. This game made me feel gross. And I'm surprised, again, Rampage balances the line. I think maybe after 20 years, just however they were managing that tightrope walk, just fell over. If you look at the reviews, people weren't having this either. Yeah, this game just didn't land. It's truly, if I could sum it up in one true review, I would say it has a bad vibe. And if you play it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the vibes of Total Rampage, they're not good, and you don't enjoy spending time playing it. And I think that's why they stopped making these games after this. It sold pretty well, surprisingly. It sold like 1 million copies. But yeah, they never made any after this. On a note, I don't know much about this. Apparently they made a 2010s movie with The Rock in it. So it's like a Rampage movie, which is weird. They made a movie for Rampage 8 years after the last game came out. Like, does anyone care about that? I wonder why they made that. Have you seen the Rampage movie? Did you like it? I don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Rampage. Go out, play it for yourself, see what you think. And now we're gonna cook a Rampage themed recipe. So let's swing on over.
Do it! What? Feeding the monster to the gorilla.
All right, well, now that we're finished reviewing Rampage, it's time to eat Rampage. Betty, show the people what we made.
Those cookies.
Those are little Rampage monsters. Unfortunately, there was not a snowman. That's my favorite one.
Aww.
Yeah, they're actually quite a bit cuter than the Rampage monsters are. As you can see, these are also serving a double role as Christmas cookies to Zimran's and family. So, yeah, I'm sure they've noticed that looks like a Christmas tree with eyes. Anyway, tell us how you feel about these cookies.
I mean, it's an egg-free sugar cookie dough that's supposed to be rolled out. And, like, it tastes fine. I think they're a little drier than I want them to be. Like, they have a nice little snap to them. And then the icing isn't fully set, but I think it will later. I don't know. I didn't do a great job with the piping. Like, it's just, like, it's okay. I could have done better, though. But there's a little almond extract in the cookies, which makes them taste like almonds instead of just plain sugar. So, yeah, I like it.
How do they do the piping like they do in, like, Bake Off? Because that thing looks, like, insane. Like, do they go to school for that?
Not in the Bake Off, no.
No?
That's a cooking competition.
That's true. That's true. I guess I haven't gone to professional. For the record, I like them. They taste like sugar cookies. They taste kind of like the sugar cookies you get from the store at Target, which is what I was craving when I asked Betty to make these sugar cookies.
Oh.
So I think they're fantastic.
Awesome.
Exactly. I don't know what these imaginary super
I'm glad you like them.
cookies are that Betty thinks they should have made that aren't pasty in your mouth, but I think these are great.
Thanks.
So anyway, this isn't our Christmas episode. Maybe we'll just reuse this for Christmas. But thanks for eating. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching it. And we'll see you next week. All right, shut it off. We did it.